Hey everybody, you are watching and listening to the We Are Rizin podcast. This is your host, Andrew Benjamin. I'm joined by a very special guest today. Of us, we got Makoto Shinryu, who'll be taking on Hideo Tokoro at Rizin 37 this weekend at the Saitama Super Arena. And you can catch the show internationally on Rizin Live and through the Rizin Stream Pass. Shinryu-san, I really appreciate you talking to us. Yoshiko onegaishimasu.
よろしくお願いします。
So, first things off, for anybody who's not familiar with you, I want to know, they may want to know, how did you get into Kakutogi?
アメリカで聞いてるファンは、シンリュウさんのことまだ知らない人もいっぱいいると思うんで、まずベーシックな質問になりますけども、まず何歳の時に何がきっかけで格闘技っていうかを始めたんですか、スポーツとして。
一番最初は小学2年生の頃に父親に連れてってもらってムエタイを最初始めました。
Well, actually, my first experience with the fight sports is when I was second grade, and my father took me to a Muay Thai gym, and that was the first time.
Okay, so did you, were you first learning Muay Thai? But were you also learning judo in high school, middle school, is Muay Thai your primary background?
今ちょっとびっくりしたのはムエタイって聞いたんですけども、そのムエタイから、組の方のスポーツに移ってくるんだと思うんですけども、ムエタイはどれぐらい続けて、それからどういうふうに変化してたんですかね。
でもそのムエタイを1年ぐらいやって、で近くにそのレスリング道場ができたっていうのを知って、父親はプロレスファンだったんで、それで小学3年生からレスリング始めました。
Well, I actually continued Muay Thai for 1 year. And after that, we realized that the new wrestling dojo has opened in our neighborhood. And since my father was a big time pro wrestling fan, he took me there from my third grade. So from third grade, I began wrestling.
Oh, okay. Do you still watch Puroresu? Are you still a Puroresu fan?
今でもプロレスってのは見ますか、新竜さんは。
最近は見てないですね。でも、またやりたくやりたいのはやりたいんで、多分、やるときが近くなったらまたいっぱい見ると思います。
Actually, not recently. I haven't watched any pro wrestling, but eventually I do like to do pro wrestling. So when time has come, then I will start watching again.
Oh, okay. Do you see yourself going like the route of maybe Shin Nihon or maybe Dragon Gate or a different type of promotion? I'm curious to know what your aspirations are in pro wrestling.
ずっと先の話だと思うんですけども、その新日本プロレス系とかドラゴンゲート系とかいろいろあると思うんですけども、どんなようなプロレス団体でやるようなことを考えてますかって。
でも新日本プロレスはやっぱ憧れるですよね。やっぱ一番大きいと思うんで。はい、そんな感じです。
Well, I actually do have admiration towards New Japan Pro Wrestling because it's the biggest in Japan.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm curious to know, Kagitoki, because you are young, 22, Nijuni, and you grew. I think you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did you ever watch Pride, or or were you too young to be watching Pride at the time?
今まだ22歳ということですごい若いんですけども、まず、例えば若い時でも何でも、プライドってのは見たことありますか？
YouTube で後から知ったぐらいですね。当時は見てないですね。
Actually, not when I grew up, but I did realize what Pride is through YouTube.
What was the primary MMA promotion or types of fights that you were watching while growing up?
じゃあ、シンリーさんみたいにこんな若い選手にとって、成長していくときに子供の時から大人になる過程の中で見てきていたその MMA の団体とかプロモーションってどこなんですかね？
MMA だったら USC ですね。その父親が見せてきたんで、USC を見せられてましたね。
何歳ぐらいから？
何歳ぐらいでも小学校の低学年の時に、はい、見てましたね。
Okay, well, in terms of watching MMA promotion when I grew up, my father was a fan. So he actually brought me a UFC when I was like third grade. So I started watching UFC in the early part of elementary school.
Okay, gotcha. And for those that actually don't know that you are the current deep flyweight champion, and also I want to ask you about this because the first part of your MMA career has kind of a unique wins because at one point you had no finishes on your career. I'm just curious to know, as somebody who has who was progressing and getting all these wins. How did you feel that while you were dominating most of all of your opponents, you just weren't able to finish them? Was that something that was frustrating to you as a fighter?
選手の今までのキャリアとしてプロのキャリアを見ていくと、初めのうちからもうずっともう結構圧勝して勝っているにもかかわらず、ずっとフィニッシュがなくて判定勝利が続いたということに関しては、なぜそういうふうになったのか、でそういったことが続いて、自分の中でちょっとフラストレーションとかなんか溜まったのかとか、最近変わったのがなぜなのかとか、ちょっとそこら辺教えていただけますか。
まあ、フィジカルが足りなかったっていうのはあると思うんですね。やっぱ、15歳からデビューして、やっぱ子供の体だと今やっぱ思うんで、それでまあ、とりあえず勝てばいいやっていう考えでしたね。で、今変わってきたのは多分、なんだろう、やっぱチャンピオンになると強くなるっていうじゃないですか。それでやっぱ意識も変わったのかなって思いますね。
Well, first of all, when I look back, I made a pro debut at age 15. So I was physically still a so-called child body. So I was just trying to win bouts instead of finishing it because I just had such a physical disadvantage over fighting bigger adults. But now I'm a champion now. You know how you say that you fight styles or even confidence level, everything else changed when you became a champion. So once I became a champion, I feel like my consciousness has changed. So that's why I think I've started to finish people, you know.
Oh, gotcha. Now let us talk about your fight against Hideo Tokoro. Interesting though, interesting little tidbit I found out before we started the interview is that he's been fighting for as long as you've been alive because he made his debut back in 2000. I don't know if you know that.
まあ多分分かってると思うんですけども、所選手ってデビューしたの2000年だから、要するに新
おー
選手が生きてるのと同じ時間ぐらいプロで試合してることなんですけど、どう思わ
はい。
れますかってそれ。
どう思いますか？まあ、長いなで。そんな現役でいられるんだなっていう感じです。
Well, my initial thought is like, wow, that's a long time, and I can't believe you could be active professional fighter for such a long time.
Oh, I'm curious. So I'm guessing you must have seen fights of Tokoro uh, throughout at some point. What do you think about him as a fighter?
もちろん所選手の試合見たことあると思うんですけども、どうですかね、選手としての印象っていうのがどういうタイプだと思います？
まあ、グラップリングのスクランブルがすごい強くて、まあ、どの体勢からでも決めを狙ってくる。で、まあ、打撃も勢いがある。なんだろう。本当思い切りがいいっていう印象です。
Well, obviously, he's very good at the scrambling situation in grappling. And also, even his striking, he has this particular explosiveness that he gives all out when he steps in, type of stuff. So, those are the 2 points that I have to be careful with.
What about the striking though? He's never been known as somebody who's a striker. And yeah, I feel like this will probably be more of a grappling bout. But I want to hear your thoughts on what do you think the striking aspect of this fight, how it can possibly go.
今ちょっと掘り下げますけども、その彼の場合はグラップラーだって知られているところでも、今言ったようにちょっと打撃も、まあ、そういった思い切りある部分があるっていうのは、彼の打撃をもうちょっと詳しく言うと、どういったタイプのストライカーだと思いますか？
ストライカーではないですけど、なんだろう。ワンツーが結構伸びるですよね。やっぱボクシングやってるって聞いてるんで、ワンツーはすごい綺麗で伸びるなっていう。リーチも長いんで。
Well, he's not a striker, obviously, but as you could see, his 1-2 combination, which is a jab straight, you could see he extends very well. And I hear that he does do a lot of boxing training. So maybe that's because of that.
They also did have the exhibition bout against Tenshin Natsukawa, and he looked okay against that against him, in my personal opinion. Um, I also want to ask you because during the press conference when this fight was announced, I don't know how accurate the translation is, but I'll ask it anyway. You had said that this theme for the fight will be to beat up old timers. This will be a one-sided brutal beatdown, and I gotta ask, how will you make it a one-sided brutal beatdown?
まず、所選手って一応、ほら、エキシですけども、天心選手とやって、まあ、それなりにいい感じに見えたと僕は思うって彼は言うんですけども、まあ、それを、まあ、踏まえた上で、この前の記者会見で、まあ、通訳が正しいかどうかわからないですけども、まあ、英語で言うと、要するに、もう一方的に、要するに年寄りのおっさんをもう圧倒するみたいなようなことを言ってたってことになると思うんですけども、まあ、
はい。
本当にそういうふうに考えてますかっていうのと、まあ、その彼の大学も含めて、どういった展開を考えてますか？
まあ、思ってるですね。そういうふうに思ってて、試合展開、まあ、一方的にボコボコになるんじゃないかなって、すべてにおいて差があると思ってるんで、やっぱその、近代 MMA の代表は僕で、まあ、その昔の MMA をやってくると思うんで、やっぱそこで差が生まれるかなと思います。
Well, I must say that translation is quite accurate, and I do feel that way. And I think in terms of this fight, it's going to be a one-sided domination by myself. I think I'm much better than him in every aspect of the game. And also, I think the difference between me and him is that I am a representative of modern, you know, MMA, opposed to he is a representative from the past era. I think that's where it's going to be a difference.
What about also the fact that he's coming down to flyweight for this fight? I don't know if this is first fight at flyweight. If oh, it is. Is it his first fight at flyweight?
I think so.
Okay. What do you think about the fact that he's coming down to your weight instead of going up to his weight, which is usually around 135? What do you think about his choice to do that?
どうですかね、所選手が今回フライに下げてくると、今までまあどっちかというとバンタムの試合が多かった、また時々フェザーで出てましたけども、まあ、どっちかというと彼とやるんだったら彼に上に上げるのかなと思ったところ、彼が下げてくるっていうことに関してはどう思いますか？
どう思いますか？まあ、ラッキーですよね。僕が上げずに済んでよかったなっていう。で、まあ、名前もあるし、美味しいなって感じです。
Well, when you ask me how I feel about it, I feel very lucky because I'd have to, bulk myself up. And I feel lucky because he's a very known fighter. And it's it's a good name for me to beat.
Yeah, and then if you go on, you beat Tokoro, you'll be undefeated in Rizin, and still deep flyweight champion. What would you like next? Either in Rizin or yeah, would you like another opponent in Rizin by any chance?
これでまあ、もしもトクロ選手に勝って、で、そうなると、まあ、ライジンでは無敗。で、今もうディープのチャンピオンとなりますと、じゃあ次はどこを目指しますか？どういうところを考えてますか？
まあ、いけるんだったら本当 USC は、まあ、目指してたんでずっと行きたいなと思ってます。
Well, if I can get an offer, yes, UFC is a place I always wanted to go, and that has been my goal for all my, been a while. So yes, if you could go there, the UFC would be my choice.
Got it. And do you think you could be the first Japanese world champion for UFC if you go to UFC?
UFC からオファーが取れていくとなった時に、このフライ級というこの階級でタイトルを取れると思いますか？日本人選手として初めての世界チャンピオンになれると思います？
まあ、慣れるだけの素材はあると思うんで、はい。まあ、海外修行とか、本当にもう見えてきたら、あっちに何ヶ月か修行行って、まあ、技術磨いたらもう全然いけると思ってます。
I truly believe I have a talent to become a UFC world champion. I just need to sharpen up my skills and everything else. So once my sight is set on UFC, I'm planning to go to the to change my training environment, perhaps training in America for a couple months to get much better skills and everything else. Then I should be able to do that.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of training, it is my understanding that you have built your own gym, that you were possibly, I guess, no, the youngest martial artist to ever build their own gym. And curious to know what made you want to build your own gym and how's that going for you?
あと、最近ほら、新竜ワールドジムを開けたということで、まあ、格闘技の選手としては最年少でジムを開けたっていうことで話題になってましたけども、まあ、なんでジムを開けることにしたのか、そしてどうですかね、今やってみて、ジム経営って実際やってみていかがですか？
うーん、なんでやることな、まあ、そのもともと地元が宮城県で、まあ、なんだろう、家族でも話して、ジム出すんだったらやっぱそっちの方がいいなっていうので、まあ僕だけで経営してるわけじゃないんで、結構手伝ってもらって、経営だけになっちゃったら僕が、その練習とかちょっと身が入らなくなっちゃうんで、僕はもう結構指導専念して、父親とかにそういう、なんだろう、経理っていうか、はい、お金関係やってもらってって感じですね。
Um, I wanted to open gym because I always wanted to, and I wanted to open a gym in my hometown, which is Miyagi Prefecture. And after discussing with my family, it was the right time for us to open. And just because I opened a gym, it doesn't mean I'm really doing everything because I have a a business partner, which is my father, and he's taking care of lots of management and finance side of it. So I'm concentrating more on training and teaching classes.
Okay, gotcha. And so with Deep, I don't know if you had a chance to see the Deep is going to be having a flyweight GP this year. I'm curious to know if you have a favorite. Who do you think has a chance to be the winner in that GP?
ディープのフライ級トーナメントグランプリが発表されましたけども、まあ、予想を言うんでしたら誰が勝つと思いますか？優勝は。
福田選手。
福田選手。
はい。
Mr. 福田 maybe?
Okay. Is there a reason why you pick him?
なんですか？自分が対戦したからですかね？それとも。
まあ、順当に考えて対戦して強さ知ってるのもあるし、多分一番ムラがないっていうか、穴がない選手かなって思ってます。
Well, I've fought him before, so I know about him, obviously. So that helps me to evaluate. And other than that, by looking at his fight style, he looks like to be the most consistent one and less holes in the game. So I think he has the best chance to win this Grand Prix.
Okay, gotcha. And so I gotta ask, so I know that your name is Takahashi Makoto, but you go by Makoto Shinryu. What made you decide to go by this moniker, Makoto Shinryu?
高橋誠という本名がありながら、なぜ新竜というリングネームにしたんですか？ちょっとアメリカのオーディエンスは知らないと思うので、もしも教えていただければ。
高橋誠っていう名前が多いんですよ、日本で。で、やっぱ検索したときに、僕以外の有名な人が出てきちゃって、いっぱい出てきちゃって、僕が引っかからないから名前を変えようっていう。で、僕がリングネームつけるときに、辰年だったんで、竜は入れたくて、その上に1個、神。で、新竜誠っていう感じで。はい。
Well, first of all, Makoto Takahashi is very, very common name in Japan. But when I search it under my name on the internet, and all these other celebrities and the other Makoto Takahashi comes up, so we have decided to come up with some ring name. Now, I was born in the year of dragon, so the word dragon is I wanted to use it, and I put a new, like like an advanced dragon, new the word new on top of dragon, so that became Shinryu. So that's what my the ring name came from.
Gotcha. It's also when you go into pro wrestling, it is a perfect puroresu name. You don't have to be given one. You already got one right there.
もうそれって多分プロレスのリングネームとしても最高だと思うんで、プロレスに行くときは変える必要もないじゃないですかって言うんですけど、どう思いますって。
そうですね。このまま、この名前は多分中学の時にちょっと浮かんでたんですよ。新竜誠っていうのは。もともと中学卒業した時にプロレスラーになりたかったんで、もうその時から考えてたんで、もうその時用の名前でもあります。
Well, I actually thought about this ring name when I was in junior high school because I made my became a pro wrestler. I actually wanted to be a pro wrestler after graduating from junior high school. So I was thinking about the ring name already. So, I was thinking about that to come up with that ring name. So yes, it is actually for the pro wrestling.
Okay, I gotcha. And so with your fight coming up against Tokoro, for people that might be tuning in for the first time seeing you internationally, what can you tell them that they can look forward to seeing you? They can look forward to this fight that you will be in.
北米に限らず海外のファンの中では、新竜さんの試合を初めて見るファンもいるかもしれないんで、そのファンのために、教えて、こういうところの俺のこういうところを見ろって言いたいんでしたら、どういった部分を見てほしいですか？
圧倒的なスピードとスクランブル力を見てほしいなと思います。
I want them to feel my speed, which is dominating, devastating speed. And also, I have a very good scrambling power and skills. Those are the 2 points I want the fans to see.
And if you feel comfortable giving a finish or how you think this fight will go, do you think when and how do you think you will finish this fight?
基本的には何ラウンドのどれぐらいでどういった勝ち方するっていう感じで自分の中でイメージしてますか？
まあ、決めれるときに決めるんで、まあ、1でも2でも、まあ、相手の、なんだろう、疲れてきて、まあ、削りながら様子見て、いけるときに行くって感じです。特に7ラウンドで決めるっていうのはないですね。
Well, I'm looking to finish him whenever I can. So even the first or second round, I will. But I don't have any specific rounds to shoot for. However, my game plan is to chop him down, and then when I see that his cardio is out, then that's when I'm going to finish him.
Okay, gotcha. And before you go, if you I want to give you an opportunity to plug your sponsors, SNS, your gym, your own gym if you like to. The floor is yours, sir.
OK? じゃあこれでもう終わりなんですけども、最後にファンとかのメッセージ、または自分のジムの宣伝をしたかったらどうぞということで。
ああ、じゃあ、これどこの国の人が見てるんですか？
これは基本的には北米が一番多いですね。
ああ、
だから、
じゃあやっぱ僕のこと知らない北米のファンがたくさんいると思うんで、やっぱもうこの試合は見てほしいですね。で、まあそのうちアメリカ行って USC 出るんで、まあ今のうち僕のフル株になっておいてくださいって感じでお願いします。
Well, to the majority of those listeners, I'm assuming that it's North American fans and they've never seen my fight. So please make sure to watch this fight this weekend because in the very near future, I'll be in the UFC and, start winning. So I think it worth it for to become my fans early.
And last thing, do you have any last comments or statements for Tokoro?
じゃあ最後にもう一つ、所選手に何か一言あったら。
うーん、まあ後遺症残したくないんで早めにタップしてください。
Well, I don't want him to have such an after severe effect, so I would like him to tap out early.
Okay, gotcha. And so you can see Makoto Shinryu take on Hideo Tokoro this weekend, July 31st at Rizin 37. It'll be available internationally on Rizin Stream Pass and Rizin Live. Or if you're in Japan, go see it at Saitama Super Arena. Shinryu-san, we appreciate your time. We're looking forward to your fight, and whatever happens in your career, definitely I'm looking forward to where you go from here. It's gonna be great. Gambare des.
ありがとうございます。
はい